Welcome to the Good Ride. I'm James Beastie. I don't mind if you put the bar down as long as you ask nicely. This is the Nitro Fin Twin. I rode this with Union Atlas, Union Force, and Ride Deadbolt boots. Got it in a little bit of thick, wet, late spring powder. The best I could do for when Nitro could send me these boards. Then I got this in some good groomers as well. To talk sizing, this was a good fit for me. It's only one size, a 149. I wouldn't go too big in the boot just because this back area isn't as wide as the front. It's a very tapered board. So let's do the Snowboard dating app, some things that might make you want to swipe right. It has decent performance in uneven snow for how short and wide it is. It's a great floater. It's very turny and slashy in powder thanks to all this taper. Some things that might make you want to swipe left. If you want to ride it on groomers, you've got to be more of a back-footed turner. Center-weighted and front-foot weighted turns don't work well. It is a short wide. If you see a lot of low-angle powder and you like a board that keeps its speed well when it's really deep, this might not be for you. And I just want to take a moment to talk about my sponsor that's helping us bring honest and objective content to you, Blauer Board Shop. They have a strong online presence, do their best to match pricing like the big stores do, have fast shipping. They've been selling snowboard gear longer than some resorts have been allowing snowboarders on the hill. So if you're in the United States, give them some love. Now, when it comes to shape, this is very tapered, very directional. There's almost 4 centimeters of taper. That's massive, and you feel it on snow. When it comes to camber, they have their cam out profile. It's pretty much camber to the tail. Then there's a decent bow under the middle to the back foot that comes down into a little bit of early rise, but you really feel this camber underfoot. It feels pretty technical and more for advanced to expert riders. A strong intermediate could handle this, but you're probably going to catch an edge here and there, so be prepared to take some lumps if you're an intermediate and you want to ride this. When it comes to edge hold, I felt this gripped pretty well, as long as you back foot weight your turns on groomers. When I hit some hard patches, it's more than fine. Let's talk flex here. You can see it's not a super stiff flex, but it is pretty stiff in the tail. The nose is a lot softer, and as you get up to here, it gets a little stiffer. It was okay to butter in the nose. Takes a little work in the tail, and there is good pop out of a turn, and on an ollie it has a very rubbery but lively poppy personality. Now, what I like about this flex personality is how well it did in uneven snow. It has some special kind of magic going on here that give it that rubbery, shock absorbent, shatter resistant personality that I like in all conditions. Yes, this is a short wide. It can buck and bounce a lot in uneven snow just because of its size, but it does very well for the shape, width, length, and its overall design. Usually short wides are really problematic in uneven snow. This does better than most short wides. Now, when it comes to speed, I thought all this taper would make this a really sketchy board to go fast with. But I like what they're doing with the side cut, where they give a more mellow entry that then goes deeper out the back. So it can handle a short straight line or two, but it's not a bomber. And it doesn't feel hooky or catchy when you go straight. When it comes to base glide, it's good for the price point, but it's not gonna blow minds. When it comes to turning and carving, I really liked this board's personality, especially when you set it up posy. It's a board for those who like more back foot weight out of your turn. Because you have almost 4 centimeters of taper, you really need to engage this more deep part of the side cut to really get a good turn. What surprised me though is how balanced it was turning. It's more of a turny, slashy board, obviously, but it could handle a good down the line turn really well. And this camber really popped me out of the turn. It had good drive. And speaking of why you're here primarily, in powder, this had good directional float. I wish I could have stress tested this in really deep powder and see how well it handled Mount Bachelor's low angle, super deep powder. But as it stood, this wasn't even trying in the spring thick powder I got. It did very well. The personality definitely changes and becomes even more turny and slashy than it was on groomers. This is a really fun board, but I would get this more for medium to semi-steep angle powder and not low angle powder. I've just never had a really good experience with a short wide at Mount Bachelor. They always seem to struggle when it gets really deep. But back in the day when I used to ride in Tahoe and Mammoth, that has a lot more steep terrain, this would be exceptional. And when it comes to setback on board versus setback on side cut, at a 22-inch stance with full-size discs with this 5x2 inserts, you can get 5.5 inches back from center of board if I measure from the tail, and 7.625 inches back from center of board if I measure from the center of the swallowtail here. That's pretty far back. You really do feel like you're surfing in snow. So overall, I had a pretty fun time on the Fin Twin. I think it's a very fun, short wide, set back, surfy kind of ride. So there you have it.